got one good day of weather here in Ohio, so naturally, Facebook Marketplace, I'm looking for a bike. Found this 1983 Yamaha Virago 920 for sale up in Saginaw, Michigan. So made the trip up there, picked it up for $500. It had been sitting for about 3 years in the corner of a garage, so I knew it was going to take a little bit of work to get it running. So this bike's unlike something I've ever owned before. I'm used to 600, 750, 1000cc sports bikes and just bombing it down the highway. It's basically all I did on those things. Just absolutely pushing the limits of them all the time. And I just recently had a spill on one, so this year I wanted to change it up. Got something vintage, and I want to turn this bike into a cafe racer. So typically you get an older bike, you chop off the high-rise handlebars, lower the front end, maybe put on a pair of clip-ons, raise the rear end of the tank there to give it more of a streamlined look, and you can throw on a whole host of different parts, different seats, different tanks, different front ends, you know, and really make it your own. So my bike's pretty unique. It actually has an aftermarket oil cooler, so I intend to keep that. I actually picked up a welder, a little flux core welder from Harbor Freight. I'm going to attempt to weld my own custom exhaust. On my way home from Michigan, where I picked this bike up, I hit eBay and picked up a front end from a 2004 Gixxer 1000. So I picked up the whole front end, steering stem, upper triple, lower triple, front wheel, brakes, everything you need for the whole front end swap for $400. I'm going to also custom weld and custom fab a subframe for this bike. I don't quite know what it's going to look like yet. And I'm also going to throw on a new tank. So first things first, I wanted to see, before I did anything with this bike, if I could get it running. Getting this bike going at this stage in the build is going to give me a ton of confidence and want to do the future work in the future. So digging into this bike on the first day, things were looking promising. The tank looks like it was stored with hardly any gas in it, and there was no rust in the tank, which was great. The gas looked pretty clear coming out of the tank. All that stuff in the bucket there was just markings. It wasn't debris from the gas tank. So just going through the basics here of what any engine needs to run. You know, air, gas, spark. Off camera, I did a compression test on my little Harbor Freight gauge. Both cylinders were coming back right around 120, 125 PSI, so it gave me even more confidence that I was going to get this thing to fire up today. New battery. Knowing I had a lot more work to go on this bike, I was going to hold off on doing an oil change for now. Just made sure it had some oil in it before I gave it a turn over. Just taking an air compressor here and blowing out the air cleaner and the ducting that actually goes up through the frame and into the carbs through the frame. Throwing in a new set of plugs here. The plugs that were in it looked like they were brand new. Which may be a little suspicious that, you know, they were trying to get it to fire. So threw in a new set anyways, and it turned over. And I didn't realize the petcock on this tank actually has a prime. So I think what the bike's doing here is I have it on reserve, so it's needing vacuum to pull fuel into those bowls. Probably could have saved the starter here a little bit and primed the float bowls, or the fuel bowls, before I tried cranking it, but nonetheless I did get it to fire up. right now it's only wanting to run on choke. I had a lot of off-camera attempts here to get it running, and I was trying to cycle that fresh fuel and seafoam through the carbs here, see if I could get get lucky here and get it to run. But I was pretty confident going into this that those carbs were going to come off, and was fully prepared to take them off and clean them. So was pretty happy that it fired, so I knew I was going to have a good running machine here, but just wasn't getting proper fuel to that first cylinder. So carbs are coming off. Hopefully we'll be able to clean them. If not, we're going to get them rebuilt and put them back on the bike.
In the morning, it's all gonna vanish. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you. Not every light is gonna guide you.
Yeah, when I blow up, I'ma soar high like Peter Pan. In real life, be living out my dreams. If I'm waking up, it's in a foreign land. Whole wrist covered up in ice. Dealership, never ask the price. I hit the molly ball with my dogs. Yeah, I swiped it once without thinking twice, cuz.
Alright, so I got the carbs out of the bike. They're on my nice clean workstation here. I'm about to take them apart. I actually already took them apart before I started this video to find out whether I was going to get away with just cleaning them and slapping them back on the bike, or if I needed to rebuild them. And I quickly found out that they're going to need a rebuild. So I hopped online, ordered these rebuild kits. Comes with new gaskets, O-rings, jets. Looks like it has a idle mixture screw in there too. So pretty much everything to rebuild the bottom end of these. So 2 carburetors. I got 2 kits. Also out here I have a brass brush. Since these are aluminum, you're not going to want to use a steel brush, so I have a brass brush out here. It's not going to mar up the finish or destroy any inside of the carbs. So we got that. I'm going to be using some compressed air to blow out the carbs, blow out the jets, Phillips head, and then a couple size flatheads there. Also got some PB Blaster. I'm going to spray on some of these screws. Looks like some previous attempts to crack in them has resulted in some stripping. And then obviously we're going to need some carbon or brake parts cleaner or whatever.
Man, I know this what I came for. On a big stage, couple thousand people, and they do whatever I say so. Have chicks that color the rainbow. Yeah, chains on me like Django. Be a long way from my tank low, cause my Tesla charge for them bank rolls. And I'm grinding, money on my mind, and I'm headed to the top. I won't stop until I find it. Write my name in diamonds, but all these lights are blinding. I wonder, is it worth it? Feel like I'm losing my mind. Yeah, remind me.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby. Don't let them rain.
So you can see right here, there's a huge piece of debris in that jet. So I'm gonna go pop these out and spray some carb cleaner, some compressed air through them, clean up the holes and the inside of the bottom side of the carb here.
Since I blew up, everybody telling me that I'm the man. Same people gave me the finger, they reaching out for me to give a hand. In a different city and my pills came, cause this tour don't happen, I feel pain. And the girl with me say she down for life, but she don't even know what's my real name. Just try to get what she came for. And ain't nothing I got safe though, cause when the money go wild, everybody get a piece. But it's looking like I ain't on the payroll. Got a big house made out of Play-Doh, and a plastic crown for my halo. But still a long way from my tank low, cause my Tesla charge for them bank rolls. And I'm grinding, money on my mind, and I'm headed to the top. I won't stop until I find it. Write my name in diamonds, but all these lights are blinding. I wonder, is it worth it? Feel like I'm losing my mind. Yeah, remind me.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby. Don't let them rain on your spark. Keep it close to your heart. All of the pressure's gonna drive you crazy. Close your eyes to the madness. In the morning, it's all gonna vanish. Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you.
so I didn't film putting the carbs back in the bike, but I was super excited to get it fired up. Under $600, I got a running and riding motorcycle. The thing shifted all the way up through 5th smoothly, held an idle, ran all the way through the rev range, even at wide open throttle. Actually a little bit quicker than I thought, so that's exciting. Stick around for next episode. We're going to get that new front end put on and start stripping down this bike.